Your looks crooked.
Woohoo!
That one looks crooked.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Tinkering with Gever live and working through a couple of technical details still. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. We have a special guest today. I want to introduce you all to my friend, Annabelle. She's joining us from, what city are you in, Annabelle?
San Francisco.
San Francisco, thank you. And how old are you, Annabelle? How old are you? Oh, you got muted. Hold on. Six, excellent. So Annabelle helped me out on the dress rehearsal last week as well. So there's a little bit of this that she's already seen. And Annabelle, will you be patient with the part you've already seen? Can you sit through a part you've already seen? Annabelle?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back to you in a minute then. This is Tinkering with Gever, the handmade show that comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, presented by tinkeringschool.com. I know it looks like it says ICOM, but it's tinkeringschool.com and tinkeringlabs.com. Thank you all for being here. We are getting things rolling. This is episode 1 in season 1 of Tinkering with Gever, the homemade show. Ta-da! Okay, this show is brought to us by all the hard work and effort of the volunteers who've helped us put all the technology together to try and get it to go. We are making it work with all the tools that everybody is using these days because of this virus. Let's see, I'm just looking at my notes here for 1 second. I'm Gever. I'm the founder of Tinkering School, the founder of Brightworks, a K through 12 program in San Francisco. I'm the author of 50 Dangerous Things You Should Let Your Children Do. And this is my workshop. I've built a lot of things down here, from robots and toys to products that we sell. I invented Tinkering School down here, and I invented Brightworks down here, and I wrote my book down here, and now we're making this show down here. We don't have all of the high-tech gear that a lot of TV shows have. We thought it would be fun to try and see if we could make a show just using Zoom, which it seems like everybody lives in Zoom these days. But 4 days a week, I'll be down here using common materials to do interesting things. And if you would like to do the activity with me, at the end of each show, I'll tell you what materials we need for the next day, for the next day's show. You'll also get that information by visiting tinkeringschool.com and looking at the show notes, which we don't quite have working yet, but we will have working in a day or so. We are still building some of the parts for the show, so you'll see the show change over time, and we're always going to have behind the scenes videos for you to watch and see how everything works. Like I mentioned, we don't have all the fancy equipment yet, but we do have the secret ingredient for all big ideas. That is determination. And look at how determined that E is. It is the most determined E in the history of E's. And I'm just going to put this word up here to remind us
Mama, look
Yes.
it. Look what I created.
We'll probably have some hiccups and some mistakes as we go along. Okay. I think this word is really important because turning ideas into something real is not always easy. It's not always easy to just have an idea and then make it happen in the world. The good thing is that even though it's hard work, it's really exciting to make something new. And I'm finding that with this show is I wake up early every morning thinking about like, what am I going to put in my tinkering box? How am I going to, oh, if I say it this way, it'll be clearer. It's been really exciting to think about that all the time. There are a lot of shows in the world, and right now our channel only has 150 subscribers, but that's not the point. We're doing this show because kids at our school at Brightworks are all trapped at home, and I thought, let's make a show that uses everyday common materials to explore amazing things about the world. And I'll show you a little bit of how I see being trapped at home is an opportunity to tinker. We use this word tinkering all the time. So this is where I'm going to make my diagrams and take notes. And this is a really important word to me. It dominates my life. I work at Tinkering School. I have a company called Tinkering Labs. I tinker with kids, tinkering. And if I take this word and we look at it, this word has in it the word tinker. And that's interesting because tinker is a kind of job that people used to have. A tinker was a person that would come to your house to repair a broken pot. And in the old days, pots were made out of a lot of different materials, mostly copper and cast iron. And they would sometimes, like if you dropped a pot, it would get a bad dent and then it wouldn't sit flat on a stove, or it would get a hole in it. And the tinker would come in his cart and repair these pots. And the pots were always made with different kinds of handles, different kinds of attachments. Maybe the handle broke and needed to be reattached. And back in those days, a pot was pretty expensive, not like today when we would, it sounds so funny when I talked into this pot. Today, when we have a broken pot, we would probably just go buy a new pot because we don't have tinkers anymore to come around and fix everything. But this is a perfectly good pot, but if the handle was broken, I might not necessarily have exactly these kinds of fasteners to reattach the handle. That's a kind of rivet. That's called a rivet, which is a metal pin that you squish on both sides and it expands so that it won't come out of the hole. And it's a really good way to attach a handle to a pot. But if I were a tinker, I might not have the perfect matching rivet, in which case I would put in a new kind of rivet. And that's because as tinkerers, we have to make it work with what we have. Make it work. And this is what I call a credo. A credo is words that we, a credo is words that we live by. They're so important that we choose to hold up these words that we live by. They're so important that we choose to hold. We picked up an audio feed somewhere. There we go. We choose to make it work by these words. And so I mean, we choose these words to live by because they're so important. So make it work with what we have. I'm not going to give up just because I don't have the perfect rivet to repair the handle. I'm not going to give up just because our show doesn't have exactly the right technology to make a fancy show. I'm going to make it work with what I have. And what I have are these giant scissors, which are really fun to use because they make this perfect scissory noise. And we are going to hang this sign up. Maybe you have words that you like to live by. My friend Daniel says, always have a cookie when he's out in the world. No, he says, never say no to a cookie. That's what he says. His credo is never say no to a cookie. I've never tested to see if he always says yes to a cookie. Make it work with what we have. It's one of my favorite sayings, make it work with what we have. I like it so much, I'm going to put it up on the wall with our notes for today. Make it work with what we have, just in case we don't have exactly the right materials. All right. So the tinkerer would come and repair your pot using whatever materials they had, and then you would get to cook in your pot. But it might not look perfect anymore because it had maybe a copper rivet on a steel pot. But that's okay. Ta-da! Let's see, where do I have to learn where to put things when I'm not using them anymore. Okay. So instead of having a cart, I have a cardboard box that had some electronics in it before that had batteries. And so it has this really cool label with the battery warning. But in my little tinkering cart, here's my little cart being pulled by a horse. Tuck, 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 tuck. In here, I have all my tinkering supplies for today. And Annabelle, do you have some tinkering supplies? Do you have your tape for today? Oh, we got to unmute Annabelle.
I'm trying to spotlight her. Come on.
That's the voice of Sayuri, my producer behind the scenes, switching cameras. There she is. Hi, Annabelle. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have some tape today?
Yeah.
Do you have the blue tape?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. All right. Annabelle, do you remember what this tape is called?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Man's tape.
Magic tape or masking tape. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah. So that's great. Annabelle, do you have something heavy today that we could try to pick up with tape?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you could just put a piece of tape on it and then try and lift it up, let's watch that happen. And maybe Mom could tip the camera down just a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Dun, 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 perfect. Oh, we lost our connection with Annabelle. Annabelle's video froze, which happens a lot in Zoom meetings. I've noticed we sometimes have little freezes. Okay, we're going. Okay, see if you can pick up your cake mix with a piece of tape. Yep. And I just came right off. So magic tape is maybe not magic for lifting things up. Yeah. All right, let's take a look up close at what happened there, Sayuri. Let me show you what's going on at my desk in my tinkering area. There we are. I will lower my speed. I love that. So I have here my sippy cup, my grown-up sippy cup, which has delicious guava juice in it right now. And I'm going to try to pick it up with a piece of tape the way Annabelle tried to pick up her cake mix. I am going to put the piece of tape on the side here like this. And when I lift this up, I'll turn you sideways so we can watch what happens. When I lift this up, the jar, the bottle sort of tips over, and then as you can see, the tape begins to peel off the side. And what's kind of interesting about that is it looks like it's going to hold at first, right, Annabelle? When we start lifting, it seems like it's kind of going to work, and then it just peels off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a clue if we watch carefully what's happening. And now I'm going to move to the close-up camera over here under this kerosene lantern. If we look over here, we can see what happens if I pull straight along this tape. The tape is actually plenty strong. That's about as hard as I can pull without breaking the tape, right? It's really strong. But if I pull at just a slight angle, it peels right off the can, right off the sippy cup. So there's a little bit of a clue there about what's happening, which is that when I pull like this, all of the adhesive behind this paper tape along here is resisting me. I'm trying to drag all of that adhesive across the cup. But when I pull at a little bit of an angle, I only have to fight the tape right where the tape is coming off of the sippy cup, right? Do you see that, Annabelle?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why the tape loses when we pull it at an angle. So how could we use tape, going back to here, how could we use tape to pick this up without having the tape peel off? Can you think of a way?
Yeah.
You show me with your package.
Okay.
Okay. Can we spotlight Annabelle? Yeah. Okay. Maybe Annabelle's mom could come around a little bit to the side so we get a little bit to Annabelle's right side. Yeah, because the lighting is really bright through the window. Yeah, that's better. Now we can see you a little better, Annabelle. Okay, can you pick it up?
Okay.
You think it'll work? Yay! So you were able to pick it up by adding a little support tape across the side going in a different direction. Let me try that with my sippy cup. I'm going to
Now wait.
You don't think so?
And he might need
put this
to.
piece of tape on the side, just the way you did. We'll call this the Annabelle technique. And Annabelle put a piece of tape. Annabelle's tape is a lot wider than mine, but she put a piece of tape across here going in the opposite direction. Does that look right, Annabelle?
Yeah.
Okay, and now I should be able to lift this up, and with its helper tape, it stays stuck on there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. So that tape, when we're trying to, let's go to the close-up camera for a minute. When we are trying to lift up too hard on this, we're starting to pull this tape. And if I use a marker, we're starting to try and pull this tape in these directions, right? Towards each other. When I lift up on here. And by doing that, we're trying to drag all of this tape adhesive across the surface. So it's able to resist. It makes it much, much stronger. In fact, I think I can pick it up even when it's lying on its side. Oh, but look what happened right there. Can you see that? I'm going to bring it up to the big camera. When I pulled hard, it tore. Do you see that? It's the beginning of the end for our lifting system. Because it can tear through. So maybe there's one more way to solve this problem for picking up this water bottle using tape. Let's see. I've got a longer piece of tape. I'm going to take off our old pieces of tape just so they don't get in our way. So just a piece of tape down one side, it goes up and over to the other side. And just so it doesn't stick to my fingers, I'm going to fold this tape in and make a little handle up here. What do you think, Annabelle? Will it lift up if I do it this way? Will I be able to lift it up? Yep, I think so too. I think so too, because now all of our force that we're applying is pulling up along the direction that the tape is strongest in, right? So when I pull up on here, I'm trying to drag the piece of tape along the length of the bottle, and all the adhesive in this area is resisting that drag. So we're able to lift up heavy objects using lightweight tape. All right. So there are a lot of kinds of tape in the world. And okay, I'm really going to enjoy this behavior. Okay. So there are a lot of kinds of tape, and my tinkering cart has a couple of different kinds of tape in it. I'll just quickly go through them. Here's, this is called packing tape. They say packaging tape on the label from that company. But it's a clear tape. Do you have some of that too, Annabelle?
Yeah.
Yeah, in a dispenser. Nice. I have some Scotch tape in a handy way for me to put my signs up over here. Let's see. Oh, I have waterproof tape made with aluminum foil on one side, which is kind of interesting because it's not very strong tape at all. It takes nothing to tear it. It's like tearing aluminum foil. But it has a really interesting property. On the back is a paper coating to protect the adhesive. And if we check out over here on the close-up camera, We're trying to switch, yeah. So if we look over here on this camera, we can get the paper backing to come off and reveal that it really is just a sheet of aluminum foil with sticky stuff on one side. So the paper is just there so that when it's on the reel, on the roll, it doesn't stick to itself, because you would never get it to separate. And the aluminum foil itself is not strong enough to peel apart without tearing. You can see it just comes off like aluminum foil. Yeah. So if we look here, I can have this piece of beautiful aluminum foil with a sticky side, and it sticks to everything, which is what makes it tricky. And if I had like a bottle or a bucket or something that had a hole in it, I could stick this on, and because aluminum does not dissolve in water the way paper does, this can make a waterproof seal, which is super fun. And it wads up just like tinfoil does, which I think is also kind of cool. Okay. Let's see. That was a lot of a lot of talking about tape. I see that our friend Captain Banana has joined our conversation. Captain Banana, are you out there somewhere?
Hey, Gever.
Hey, Captain Banana, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are things in the Banana Castle?
Banana Castle is really nice. It's very cozy and warm. How's it going there?
Very well. We're all practicing our social distancing. Are you keeping away from your other fellow bananas?
Yeah, we're not in bunches anymore.
Yeah, that's, you know, I miss my fellow bananas. I miss being in bunches with all my kids at Brightworks. So what have you brought for us today?
I have this.
Oh, a cheese grater.
No, silly, it's not a cheese grater. It's a snowflake maker.
A snowflake maker?
Yeah, you take a snowman or a snowball or a snow cone, and you're really careful with your fingers, but do you see all these little holes? You can make different sized snowflakes with them.
Yeah. I think I understand all the words that you're saying, and I think that I still think that it's a cheese grater. Annabelle, what do you think she's holding?
Cheese grater.
Cheese grater, it's not a cheese grater, it's a supersonic hearing amplifier. I mean, since I can't be in bunches with my cousins and family and whatnot, I just use this to call my friends in Thailand. There's lots of bananas there. Hold on. Yeah? Oh, yeah. How are you doing? Uh-huh. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are safe. What? Oh, actually, no, I can't talk right now. I'll call you back. I'm on a show, but I'll call you later, okay? Okay, thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
See, it works really well.
I'm pretty sure that I have one just like it in my kitchen that I use with cheese, that I rub the cheese along the side and I get grated cheese.
You know, you could do that too, but you can also use it in your kitchen to make music. I get a spoon and I just turn it into a rhythm maker.
Huh. Yeah.
Do you do that too, Annabelle?
Yeah.
Yeah, see? It's definitely a rhythm maker, Gever.
Oh, I feel so confused. I just feel certain that it's a cheese grater. Maybe tomorrow there's something else you could share with us that's more recognizable.
Well, I'll let you think on it, but I'll come back again tomorrow and see if I can't change your mind.
Okay, because I think tonight I'm going to go up and use my cheese grater to grate cheese just to remind myself of what that object is.
Well, remember that anything is possible, especially for bananas.
Well, thank you for that lovely message, Captain Banana, and thanks so much for checking in. I hope we'll see you again tomorrow.
Sure thing. Bye, Gever. Bye, Annabelle.
Wow. Annabelle, I feel like Captain Banana might be a little confused about what that object was. What did you think it was? Oh, I think Annabelle's video might have frozen.
Oops.
Yeah, we lost Annabelle for a minute. Oh, there she is. Hi, Annabelle. And she's muted. There she is. Annabelle, I think Captain Banana might have been a little bit confused about what that object was. Do you think it was a snowflake maker?
That was a cheese grater. She just said
Oh dear. We're having a little
to
communication.
make snowflakes and then she changed it.
Yeah, she said it made snowflakes and then she said it was an ultrasonic hearing aid.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So I thought that you and I could try using our packing tape to seal up a box that we might ship something to a friend. So if you have your packing tape, I'll get my packing tape. And I have a box right here because our houses have so many boxes in them these days. And I thought we could just demonstrate how to seal up a box. And I have two really important things I want to put in this box. I'm going to put this pot in this box. And you can see it just perfectly fits in the box. You have something to put in your box too? And then I also have this this amazing yellow duck that was given to me by a close friend. For some reason, this duck has it's hard to read. It's blue on blue. It has a word written on the bottom. It says hot. This is the hot water duck for in the bathtub. So if I'm going to put this in the box as well, and then fold these two sides over. Now, do you think that I should just stick the tape on and call it done? Is this box ready to go?
No.
No, no. One piece of tape is maybe not enough to seal a box, I think. And I've put the tape on at a
It's
funny
because
angle.
then it would go up a little bit. It's gonna go up a little bit more.
Oh, yeah. So I'm gonna, to keep those sides from coming up, I'm gonna go down the side a little bit because that's the part that's gonna pull just like on the side of our sippy cup experiment, right? So that's gonna resist letting these flaps lift up. Now they're held down by this little piece of tape. Then I'm gonna go right down the seam in the middle to hold the two flaps together and over the opposite end to hold down the flaps on that side. So now our box is sealed and we can't get the flaps open. So we could ship this box to someone anywhere in the world. And the only problem with shipping it right now is that the duck and the pot are loose. So the post office probably wouldn't take this box from us because they'd be worried that it's already broken inside. All right. Can we see your box, Annabelle? Are you done taping?
Yeah.
Can you show us your tape job? Oh, yeah. I see down the sides, across the top. Is it ready to be shipped?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic. All right, I think that's our tape segment for the day. Annabelle, I think we're done playing with tape. Should we grab the action camera and go outside and have a look?
Okay.
Okay. Over here, what I've been looking at the documents with is also our action camera.
Mine's only works just one.
And now we can see infinite zoom of cameras, action cameras. It's so fun. But this is our camera. And if I remember to, I'll turn on the audio once I get out the door. I wanted to show you something. The studio where I'm shooting this is down in a little forest. And I know a lot of you are trapped in your houses in cities, in San Francisco and around the world. And I just thought maybe it would be fun to go outside together. So let's try that. Here's my studio. It's pretty messy. Now I'm going to join audio. I'm using the audio. You can see where uh-oh. Got a little bit of echo. There we go. So here's our forest just out here. You can see there's a tree that fell down this past winter, and it's already being covered with ivy. But the cool thing that I want to show you, the one cool thing for the day, is that out here is a wild strawberry. That's a California native strawberry. And it's going to grow. There's its leaves. And it's going to grow a little tiny fruit, a little tiny berry. Here's another one. Here's another one. It's going to make a little tiny berry that is going to be mostly seeds, and it's going to be no bigger than the fingernail at the end of my pinky. The fruit is really tiny. And it's a whole lot of seeds and just enough fruit to get the animals to eat it. And then the animals will fly away with that fruit and eat it. And then when they go to the bathroom, they'll drop those seeds in a new location and a new strawberry will start over there. The other way that strawberries grow is they send out a little branch and it touches down and makes new roots, and then it grows a new plant. So that's pretty cool too. So that's one cool thing for today. It's kind of a gray day out here. It's been raining, and we'll go back inside, back to the studio. Hey. All right. Well, I do like it out there in the outdoors. I wanted to wrap up our show by saying thanks to our special guest, Annabelle. Let's see if we can just get her turned on again. Annabelle.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for being my tape guest today. Let's see. What was your favorite part of the show?
That we get to lift up the stuff that we had.
Do you think Captain Banana knows what a cheese grater is?
No.
I don't think so either. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show with me today. And I also wanted to thank our dress rehearsal audience for joining us the other day to help us test everything out. Annabelle was there. I want to thank John August for his podcast, where I picked up the idea for one cool thing. At the end of every show, we'll highlight something that has nothing to do with our show. Or nothing to do with what we were talking about, but it's just a cool thing to think about or look at. And I hope that you'll all join us again on Tuesday, tomorrow. Our topic is going to be paper. We're going to do things with our tape, and we're going to add paper and look at how to build structures using paper, which is going to be really fun. The notes for the materials you need for the next day's show will also be announced on my Instagram feed. That's Gever Tully for my Instagram feed, if you look for that. And I think that I just want to thank you for joining me in this show. And I think we can get through this virus adventure together. We just have to stay home and be good to each other, I think. People all over the world are working together to try and invent a medicine or a vaccine that will get this virus under control. And we just have to stay home to keep the virus from being a big problem. And that's okay, because it's not that hard. We can handle a little boredom. That just gives us a reason to invent something. Remember that the biggest playground is the one in our imaginations. We always have room to wander up here and to imagine things and try to make them real, like I made this show. I hope that our show will give you new ideas and new things to think about and inspire you to try tinkering at home. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day. Please visit our sponsor. Bye, Annabelle. Please visit tinkeringschool.com and tinkeringlabs.com. And remember to make it work with what you have. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.